Hello, good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. It's another beautiful day that the Lord has made, and as always, we are glad to be in it. I am so glad to be here today. Thank you so much, guys, for having me once another time again. It's already the month of August. Can you imagine? It's already the month of August, and 2025 is quickly wrapping up. I hope you are prepared, not just ready to finish strong. Thank you so much, guys, for having me as always. My name is Michael White Uche Okpara, and I work with one of the most prestigious and influential insurance company here in Nigeria. And today I have something interesting I would like to share with us from the Bible perspective. And if you stay with me, I will be right back in a minute. Thank you, guys. Stay tuned. Yes. Now, thank you guys for coming to this channel again. However you landed, whether you landed with Airpeace or you landed with Airborne Airways, you are always welcome to this space. All right, enough of the gossips. Now, I would like to share something with us that um, one of my favorite Bible passages that I love to read, and every time I read this passage, there's something new that I learn. In relations to my job as a financial advisor, in in finance, in management, there's something I always get to learn every time I read this Bible passage, and I would like to share with us today. And please feel free to send in your comments. Feel free to send in your own reports. Just let me know what you think about what I have to share with us. And so let me just quickly dive in, and let me share what I want to share with us today. I promise today is going to be quite an exciting moment, right? So just stay tuned with me. So in the Bible, I think it's Matthew 25, Jesus Christ told us the story of of the talents. Now, oftentimes when we read this story, we pass it as some, um, you know, Bible prophecies or spiritual matters, but actually, the parable of the talent is a financial real life situation. I think that parable was trying to teach us about finance, management, investing, and protecting the things that matters most. And I'll digest uh, that passage for us. Now, as we all know the story of the talents, a master was going out to travel abroad for quite a very long time, and he gave three of his servants three gifts, three resources, three skills, as we have always been told in our kindergarten days, that the talent was the talent of singing, talent of dancing, but it is whatever talent it is. But that Bible passage is not talking about your hobbies as talent. It's talking about resources, financial resources, and what you get to do with them, right? So now, as we all know the story, he gave to one servant 5 talents. He gave to the second servant 2 talents, and then the third servant, he gave to him 1 talent. Now, I was doing a bit of a research, and this is what I've come to understand, and that is what I want to share with us. You see, talent in that place was not talking about skills or hobbies or natural abilities. Talent in that place was talking about huge amount of money. Now, if you would do this assignment with me, I want you to go on your phones right now and Google how much is the worth of a talent today. Now, back in those medieval days, back in those times, talent is a measure of a worth of money. Just like when you have tens of hundreds, it becomes a thousands. When you have tens of thousands, it becomes a million, right? And likewise, we have billion, we have trillion. And even today, as we all know, we now have a unit of money that we call cryptocurrencies, right? The Bitcoin, the Ethereum, and the rest of them. Talent was a measure of an amount of money, right? Now, talent was actually measured in, I think, in silver, not gold. I think it's silver, not gold, by my research. Talent is a measure of silver. Now, by my research, what I found out was that Historically, a talent is worth 75 pounds. That is about 34 kilograms of silver. One talent is 75 pounds of silver. This, I'm talking about raw, hard resources. Now, I went ahead to also do some more calculations about, what, how much that would worth in today's economy. And I found out that one talent in today's economy is equal to $30,000. Do you know how much that is? I want you to do the math. $30,000 to equivalent to what it is here for those of us in Nigeria watching this video. How much is $30,000 to Nigerian naira compared to today or whenever you get to see this video? Now, as of when I'm making this video, my calculation was reading over 45 million naira. 45 million naira. That is what one talent is equivalent to. I want us to understand the volume and amount of resources the master gave to each of the servants. So now the Bible said that to one he gave 5 talents. That means he gave to that guy roughly around 225 million naira to do business. This is not a this I'm talking about an Odogu master here, not Shaolin soccer masters. Talking about an Odogu master here. He gave one to one of his servants over 200 million plus to do business. And to the second one, he gave roughly around 70 something million. And then to the last person, he gave 45 million. Now, that might seem unfair to some of us, right? But the master did give to every person according to the measure of their abilities or according to the measure of their needs. Now, this is my own perspective why the master gave to one person over 5 talents, which by my research and what I'm saying right now is around 200 million plus. See, there are persons who the size of their problem is like the size of an ocean. You can't solve their problem with 1 million. Some persons have problems that you cannot solve with 1 million. Think about their education, changing their life around, getting them proper housing, getting them proper education, exposures, blah blah blah. It will cost a lot, right? To some other persons, because of their upbringings, their exposures, their confidence level, their skill level, if you give them as little as 1 million, 5 million, they will flip it and turn it around immediately. And so I believe the master went through, looked at these guys, and gave them what they need to change their life completely. Nothing else. It wasn't a biased measurement. It wasn't an unfair generosity. It was a balance based on needs. Now, this is where it gets interesting. Okay, as we all know what happened. The one with the 5 talents went away, invested the talents, and came out with more. Came out with 10. The one with 2 talents went away as well, invested in it, and came out with more. Came back with 4. The interesting character is a servant that was given 1 talent. And this is my take that, like I said, I believe the master gave each of them according to their needs, right? Due to their level of exposure, the level of wealth they probably had for themselves, right? Maybe inheritance, just something like that. This is my take. The servant that had 1 talent was never a broke guy. He was well to do. He was already living a normal life. Not just normal, he was living above a normal life. The master had this passion to probably make him more than he is, but he was living a good life. Otherwise, think about it. How could somebody give you over 45 million naira to invest in business and maybe you went away for 10, 15, 20 years and you did nothing with it? You just went and kept it. Now, there's something that this servant thought in his heart, and he said he knows his master is a hard person who does not who reaps where he does not sow, and all of those things he said about the master. And guess what? He was not even he wasn't wrong. He wasn't wrong about it. But this is the wrong mentality the servant had. That one servant had. He had this mentality of, I don't want him to think that he is the person that made me tomorrow. I don't want him to think that he's the person that, fed me. Smart and I, he go talk saying that they feed me and my family. I'm just thinking, right? That is what the mentality that this servant had, right? And that was the mentality that this servant had. And, that is probably, what disqualified him. And he got it all wrong. He got all the agenda, all the plans that the master had for him. He got it all wrong. So, and, many of us sometimes we feel like this. We feel like this. And this is how we get to throw away resources. We get to throw away gifts. We throw away mentorship that people, an opportunity that people get to give to us. Now, this is what baffles me the most. And this is why I said the servant was not wrong about the behaviors of the master. Now, this is when when the master came back and was calling for reports, right? He told the master the same thing and said, I didn't want that nonsense from you. I didn't want small time now. You talk saying that you feed me and my family. Please, I'm not interested. I'm not interested. He gave the master back the gift. He gave the master back the talent. He didn't squander it. Think about it. Let's assume that the master went away for about 20 years. Someone gave you over 45 million to do business and came back only 20 years to demand what you've done with it and trying to seek, okay, what can you give to me? I've made you a billionaire. I've made you someone in life. What can you give back to me, right? Give me some shares out of the company. Give me some shares out of it. Give me a bit of compensation. So think about it. Over 45 million, based on my analysis of what a talent is worth today. He didn't squander it. So he's not a wayward person. He's not an ingrate. He's not a cheat. He kept the money intact after all this period. And when the master came, he gave it back to him. I mean, for what is what, he owes the master absolutely nothing. For what is what, he owes the master absolutely nothing. Why did the master collect the money from him, collect what he had, and cast him out? Now that is what I want to focus on. That is what changes the whole narrative of the story. Now, like I said, the parable of the talent is the parable that teaches us about utilizing resources, utilizing gifts, utilizing talent, utilizing opportunities, right? It's all about investment, preservation, and multiplication. So this was what got the master angry. I gave you over 45 million and you did nothing with it. And the master said, you could have taken my money to the bank or to other persons to trade with it. And by now I will have reaped off the benefits. What got the master angry was the waste of time. Think about it. In the Nigeria economy of today, right? 1 million naira 10 years ago is equivalent to 10 million naira now. The change in value would have affected that talent that the master gave to that one servant. So by the time the master was receiving back the talent that the servant did not even spend at all, it has reduced in value. And you see, The truth is this: to many of us, the only thing, to many of us, to many of us listening, watching this video, the only one thing that God has given to us is one talent. And do you know what that talent is? Is our lives. The one thing, the one talent you're sure that God gave to you is your life. He could have given you many other stuff. I don't know how many talents you have. I don't know how much He has given you, mercies, grace, opportunities, favors that God have given you in your lifetime. But there is one I know He gave every person. As long as you're watching this video, as long as you have breath in your lungs, He gave you one talent: life. So the question is this: when He comes back, He will be demanding of you what you have done with that one life He gave to you. He does not, the concern is not that you gave Him back the life clean, pure. I did not sin. I didn't do this. I didn't do that. That's not what He cares. Is what did you do with the life? So if you return your life clean, pure, sanctified, and everything, glory be to God. The question is, how did you spend it? How did you spend it? After all this time, if you have invested more in your life, be the person you want to be, you would have created more life. And by creation of more life, I'm not talking about reprocreation of giving birth. You would have made more impact. You would have touched other person's life. That other persons will say, I am a product of this person. I am a benefactor of the goodness and the kindness of this person. And so, in this short video, your life is a talent that is worth much more than gold and silver. What you do with it now that you are alive is the biggest question you're going to be asked on the day of judgment. And so, it is high time you begin to invest more in your life so that you can multiply your life and so that you can preserve your life and get more life out of it. A lot of persons need to see the goodness in you and emulate the goodness in you. That is you transacting the talent of your life. I hope this message sends something interesting to us. I hope this message reaches someone, changes someone's mentality, and don't let God take life out of you only to cast you out at the end of it all. So this is my message for us today. I also have more series on this. So maybe throughout this week we will talking about the parable of the talents. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you so much for your time and stay safe.